Hey, it's Bill in Virginia, and it is a Wednesday night. I am going to get started putting some sculptamold down in this area and along that riverbed. A while back, at the start of the pandemic, I ordered a 25-pound box of sculptamold, and I've used maybe a tenth of it for all of the mountains that you see, if even that. So I'm going to be busy. I'm taking some vacation. So I'm going to have a long weekend. I'm going to get some stuff done on the layout, as well as some yard work and some to-do list. So I'm going to have some fun tonight. More coming. All right, about an hour later, I've got some of the basics in using Sculptamold. Some of the footings for the bridge, some of the base down below. Again, additional footings right in there. Back is done. I got some of the hill shape kind of formed. I want to make this a very rocky, bumpy area, not like the cliffs and the ridge that I've got, because this is along a fault line, hence going from the ridge type topography to more mountain type topography. And this is the divided area. The river will follow along, so I'm going to have jumbled rock, small blocks of rock along the river. So I'm making headway. What I will do is tomorrow I'll come back and I will actually add more Sculptamold. I'll probably finish it up because down there that's exactly what I want. I got the bridge in, so I'm going to finish the Sculptamold. Then I will come back with some plaster, and I'll build up in some of the high areas so that I can do some carving, smooth some of the areas as well. Like I was saying, pour a little bit under that bridge. I'll glue it up tomorrow too. But this is how it's looking from this side. I'll show you on the other side real quick. All right, so from the other side, you can just kind of see how I've got it in there. Some bumps, and excuse the light. Got a little work light kind of helping illuminate from behind. So creek bed, stream bed, I will put in rock and materials from my garden. I will build out the cliff over on this side more, kind of have it come out, have it kind of a step down, as it's kind of broken up. I got like chunks of it laying around here as it's kind of fallen over the years. I'll smooth up the foundation, the footings for some of the bridge. And we'll get on the other side too, and I'll take care of that part tomorrow. But that's where I'm at right now. So next video we'll show this quite a bit farther along. Well, it is now Thursday morning. I have spent some time out kind of roughing in rock formations, adding a little bit more layering to what I put in yesterday. And this is Sculptamold, so right now it's rough. You can see little bits hanging, little pieces of the plaster paper kind of stuff that makes up Sculptamold. But I've got rough shapes put in, some of the ways the rocks are going to look. Next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to come back in with some plaster, and I will use my fingers, and I'm going to kind of rub it in and smooth out the texture on some of this. I will use thicker plaster, and I will put it in certain areas like in here, thin coats, so that I can carve to make it look like I've got some different rock formations that are going through that narrow part of the creek bed, stream bed, whatever you want to call it. And then that will get it ready for scenery and painting and texturing. So I will do a continuation of the color scheme that I have over there, and then cover this up once I get all of that done. Now this area is going to be like with the rocks over there. A lot of this stuff is going to be covered by vegetation, except in the stream bed itself. And even in there, in some of the lower spots, I'll probably have a few trees. This is not like a raging river. It's more of a small creek. And I'll figure out how to add actual water to it a little later. But I will pour in plaster, fill up low spots, and get it ready for the next piece. Again, that piece over there will come at the last, because I still got to build the bridge and then figure out what I've got to carve. But I'll get more of this done yet today. So next video, I should be quite a bit farther along after having done the plaster piece. Well, it's still Thursday afternoon, and I have been starting to put the plaster on over the Sculptamold and doing some carving using an X-Acto knife, sort of the back of the blade, as well as a very small putty knife to etch in rock strata. It should match up pretty good with the other side. You can see I'm kind of doing some rocks now right down here that are kind of upturned, kind of sitting on end, just jumbled, just all over the place, is what you would expect along a major fault line. I've got it kind of done up to the bridge, mixing up another batch of plaster, and I will start on the other side. You can see how the rocks look over on that end. So more to come. Still Thursday afternoon, and I've got the basics done. So I've come back in and I have added plaster where I'm going to add plaster and build up the rocks, kind of added the texture to it that I wanted to. Poured a little plaster in the base where the wood was showing through down there. I've done a little bit here. This is going to be more of like a rapids area as it's dropping elevation pretty quick, going over some rock. This area, still a lot to do yet. I've got to get the bridge built and put in place before I finish the scenery here. But you can see what I've got. What I'm going to do a little later is, after it sets a little bit, I'm going to go back over it with a stiff brush just to knock off all of the little loose crumbles and vacuum those up. And you know what? Then I'm about ready to start doing some staining to get some coloration into it. I'll take you onto the other side and let you see how it looks from that angle. So from over on this side, you can see, I poured plaster into the stream bed, and that's really more to seal the board so that in the future, after I put rock and gravel and sand and everything else in it, I'm going to figure out what I want to do for water. I'm not going to use Woodland Scenics. I actually don't like that water. Probably get Envirotech or something like that, pour into it. You can see how I've carved the different rock kind of coming out over on this direction. I've got them where they're sort of standing up on end for the most part. They've been overturned along a fault line. Coming across over on this side, put rock formations in at angles along the side of the gorge. You can see how I've carved this rock to, again, make it look like it's very much at an angle, as opposed to this ridge over here, which is almost horizontal strata. But, it's kind of hard to pick out, but you can see on this piece of it, as I was building it, I started to make the strata not horizontal, but kind of go up at an angle, heading off to the right, because I knew I was going to add a fault zone in this area. And that's typically how it is if you get a normal fault where in this particular case, the right side goes up, sort of drags the other side a little bit, even as it's dropping down relative to the other. So anyway, you can see how rough I've got it over this way. So that's going to be it for this one. I will post another one probably in a couple of days to show you the progress. I'm on vacation through the weekend, so I've got time to play on the layout. So more to come. And a quick update on the 1,000 subscriber contest. I am about 4 or 5 away from getting to that magic 1,000 number. It keeps going up and it keeps going down. People come in, people go out, and YouTube's measuring system, however they do it, is kind of interesting. But, we're getting close, and as soon as I hit that 1,000, I will get an announcement out, and we will officially do the kickoff for the contest. And I'll re-show what the prizes are going to be, and, we'll have some fun with that. But we're getting close. Hopefully, maybe this weekend or early next week, we're going to be able to show that one. Anyway, take care and keep having fun with your layouts.